Hey guys, Ben Labadie here, and I'm with Don Sparky Leonard. And he's running for council here in Chatham-Kent for Ward 6. And today we're going to be getting to know him. So what I want you guys to do is, again, always comment, ask questions that you want to ask, share your opinions and ideas. And if you're watching this on the replay, don't be scared to comment again. And Don, you'll be able to answer some questions after just by typing it in and answering them that way, you think?
Yeah, fantastic, for sure. And please don't hold back with your questions. There's never a dumb question. There's never a question that shouldn't be asked. I may not have the answers. Often I don't. But I certainly will find the time to research the questions and certainly get back to you with some thoughts. So
perfect.
Looking forward to it.
So thanks for having us. Hey Shelly, how are you? And we got some people here. Hey, if you want to do us a favor, hit that share button. Let other people know that we're doing this and sitting down and talking and engaging. The whole idea, again, is for you guys to engage and participate. So let's start off with Don. You live in Chatham, and tell us a little bit about why you want to run and where you're from and how you got here.
Well, those are a lot of questions there to start with, but originally I'm from...
I just throw them at you.
Yeah, I love that. You know, it's kind of like volleyball. We'll just volley back and forth. I'm originally from Windsor, Ontario. I spent most of my business career down there selling cars and working in management at various Chrysler dealerships. Back in 2005, I started my own consulting company, did automotive training, went across Canada and the United States. In 2010, a very good friend of mine, Ben Labadie Ford, purchased Victory Ford from the previous owners and asked if I'd be the general manager. At first I thought there was no way I wanted to get back into retail. Life on the road as a consultant was just fine. I was a single father of two wonderful kids at that time, both full grown, and I thought, what a better way to finish my career. But he convinced me that it was a great opportunity, and it certainly was, not only for the dealership, but for me. A couple of years later, we moved from our previous location, which is now currently Tirecraft, into our beautiful location across the street on Richmond, which to this day is probably one of the shining stores in all of Canada. It's a mark for the Ford Motor Company, so something that I'm greatly proud of. Also, the other beauty is that by working here for a little while, I met my current wife, Lori, and my son and my daughter-in-law, who are expecting their baby today, my first grandchild, so it's pretty exciting. Also live here in Chatham. She's a teacher at St. Anne's in Blenheim. Brandon's in car sales at Victory Ford, of course. And we chose Chatham-Kent to be our home. We didn't just, it's nice to say I was born and raised here. But sometimes when we're born and raised here, we come to underappreciate things. Mm-hmm. And I just feel as a transient, but now this is home. Chatham-Kent is my home, and I certainly take great pride in it. We have just a beautiful life here, Lori and I, and look forward to helping raise our grandchildren here. So.
Awesome. Now, not being from Chatham, you kind of brought that up. We do have a lot of people coming back and living here to retire. Do you think you'll be able to connect better with them?
I'm not sure if I can connect any better with them as than I can connect with anybody in Chatham. I think when I look at Chatham-Kent, I know that there's a lot of good in Chatham-Kent, and I think if we work together and we collaborate on many, many issues, we'll find the good. We just need to be the good, each and every one of us. And Ben, yourself, I asked you earlier off air, I said, so Ben, what do you do this for? Like, what's in it for you? You're a commission house salesperson, broker, real estate agent, and you're taking time out of a critical part of your day to do this community service. And basically you said you enjoyed it, and that's why you did it. And that's the good we need to find in Chatham-Kent. Ben, you're not the only good person in Chatham-Kent, but you're one of them, right?
There's plenty of them right here just watching.
Plenty of them. So, there's so many great things that we can do in Chatham-Kent if we work together with one common goal, exchanging ideas and taking action.
Awesome. All about taking action. Okay, let's say hi to some people here. We got Sue Clark, Chris Bell, Karen Kirker-White, hi Ben and Sparky, Mary Kofmaker. I always think Mary, she barely watches these live, but she's my broker. And we are in the MC Homes Realty office, and she has been nice enough to let us use this office to make it into a studio.
Thank you, Mary. It's an excellent studio, by the way.
Yep. And we got Bill Carney, we got Elizabeth, Betsy Manso says hi.
Yeah.
Kathy Sanders Malott, and Ryan
Kathy
Gloria.
Malott's one of your students,
yes,
is she not?
Yes, and she had really good things to say about you and how good of a person you were.
Checks in the mail.
And hi, Jonette. Hi, Louise. Hey, guys, don't be scared to ask questions. The whole idea, or bring up your issues or concerns and let us know what you're thinking. And hit that share button, hit the like button if you hear stuff. So, as you guys all know, I always push the idea of the Sportsplex, so I'm going to throw it at them right now. What do you think about the idea of a multi-sports complex that would just be more than an arena? It would have other sports, a swimming pool, basketball, possibly indoor soccer. Where do you stand on that? What do you think about that for the municipality of Chatham Kent?
I think we're a little bit too late, but it's definitely something that I support 110%. But let's not forget one thing. It has to be multifaceted. It cannot just be two pieces of ice where people are going to go and play hockey and we don't, or figure skate, and we don't use it all summer. We need to have a cycling track there. We need to have a running track there. We need to have a passive area there. We need to have maybe possibly a library there. What do the grandparents do when the kids are playing hockey? How do we get out of the cold arena portion? And if we all work together. Now, keep in mind one other thing. If we're going to have a multiplex type facility, it has to be something that we partner with everybody. Right. Senior government has to play a big partner, both federal and provincial. We have to look at corporate partners. It is no coincidence that all of the major arenas, not only in big cities like Toronto, have names like the Scotiabank Centre, and the RBC Centre in Sarnia, and the WFCU Centre in Windsor, but also in communities like Bell River and LaSalle. LaSalle has the Vollmer Centre, the Atlas Tube Centre, and so we're going to have to partner with smaller local businesses as well. And then we look for sponsorship to take care of the dressing rooms, and so now we've got all levels of government involved. We've got major corporations, we've got local companies, we have service organizations. We can go to the Rotary clubs and to the Optimist clubs and to the Kiwanians, and we can say, look, why don't you run this portion of it? You'll be able to create some revenue out of it, and you'll be doing some good for your community. And then after that, of course, us, you and I, as taxpayers, will have to participate as well. But we have to quit thinking that all of a sudden someday we're going to get a knock on the door and a hockey team is going to say, can we come there and can we build an arena so that we can be there? No, we have to be proactive. And then when they come and they see the beauty that we offer, it'll be a no-brainer. We will be able to entertain. We will not have to travel any longer to Windsor to see the Spitfires, or London to see the Knights, or Sarnia to see the Sting. We'll be able to watch some good local junior A hockey here. Our Maroons, they are in a building that, look at how much money we put in there since Craft Hockeyville, right? We are a mecca. We have, I don't know if you've heard yet today, we have Hockey Night in Canada coming here in December now. Yep. We're going to be Hockey Town. We're going to be shown from coast to coast in Canada. Ron McLean's going to be here. Chatham has so much to be proud of and so much opportunity, but we need to work together on doing this.
Awesome. That was a good answer. I liked it. Jonathan North. Okay, would you support a ball hockey rink in Tecumseh Park? And I'm guessing, Jonathan, when you say that, it's just a slab of concrete or asphalt in Tecumseh Park.
My answer to Jonathan and to everybody else out there is I would support anything that we can build a very good business case for. Yeah. And by a business case, I mean it cannot be driven only by taxpayers. It has to be something where the ball hockey groups, the local service clubs, and other people can come together and make it work together. So I think we have to be careful when we try and build a one-type complex for just one organization, right? We have to make sure that we are doing things that are good for all concerned and not just one special interest.
Awesome. Good luck, Carmen McGregor. Hey, Carmen. Carmen's going to be on tomorrow. Scott Tate. Hi, Sparky. Sue Clark. Great Canadian Marathon Trail, or Great Ontario Marathon Trail, Sue. What are your thoughts on the trail? Okay, so we got the rail line. That's another thing I always talk about. We got the rail line. We own it. And I'd like to see it as a trail. Many other people would like to see it as a trail. Some people want to see it sold. So there's a bunch of things, different opinions there. Where do you stand?
Again, I would like to see us make the best decision. Would I like to see a trail? Absolutely. Can we make really good business fiscal sense of it? I'm not sure yet.
Right.
But again, just to say we're going to build a trail. I give you a comparison though. There's a trail in the Windsor area. It goes from Oldcastle to Harrow. It's called the Chrysler Greenway. It's used constantly. It's a wonderful trail. A lot of people that run in the Detroit Windsor Marathon train on that trail. So, and you know, about 3 or 4 years ago at a Rotary meeting, we had a guest speaker in who was from the municipality, and they'd done a survey, and they said that people moving to Chatham-Kent and people that were starting to age, as baby boomers do, were looking for more active, passive ways to entertain themselves, and nothing better than a trail. I mean, I walk Mud Creek every day, and it's great, but we need more. Right. So the easy answer is yes, I support it, but it has to also make some good financial sense as well.
Perfect. Okay, if the land was industrial, then it's polluted. Like Rotary Blenheim's Talbot Trail Place, can we afford to clean up an industry's mess to tune millions of tax-paying dollars? I think what he's talking about is, in regards to the Sportsplex, many people have thought Navistar, the current mayor, has taken some photo opportunities in front of Navistar. I've talked about it, but that doesn't mean it has to be at the Navistar property. And yes, it would probably cost a bundle to clean up before anything could happen. Are you open to more ideas on where to locate it?
Well, I'm open to all kinds of more ideas, and again, I'm not finished on it should just be 2 pads. I think we need a lot of community involvement. We need to have a task force that gets together and acts quick and makes decisions on what they would like to see in it, and not only what, but where. Obviously, at first glance, everybody thinks the Navistar location is fantastic. We also think it might cost a lot of money to clean up. It may not cost as much as we think. Possibly if the parking lot goes over the damaged area, maybe you don't. Again, I've been involved in a little bit of that when we made our move from the one side of Richmond to the other, and we dealt with that. So what would the cost be? We can't answer some of those until we know. I will guarantee every taxpayer out there that I will not spend their money in crazy ways. I will protect and treat your money better than I treat my own. Just ask my wife how I treat mine.
All right, so let's go here. We got a couple more people. Elizabeth, how do you feel about reducing the size of council? We have 17 members of council. Wow,
it's amazing that somebody would bring that up. And Elizabeth, I know you, and I know you and I have not talked about this yet. And I don't want to make any political statements, but I will say this, that for the amount of residents that we have in Chatham-Kent, we have the second or third largest council. Toronto and a few others are the only ones that have more members. I say it for a couple of reasons. I say it because when you have a council that's too large, it's a lot harder to get things done. I'm going to try and work diligently with the 17 people that are on council to make motions and to make things happen. But if you cannot convince everybody on the plan that you're working on, of course, it's not going to fly.
Right.
So I don't see it necessarily just immediately as a tax savings, which a lot of people will think, let's get rid of 6 councillors and we'll save money. I look at it bigger than just reducing the number of councillors, pardon me. I look at it as possibly ward realignment as well. I look at let's get right into it, right? So many people say that there's them and us. Yeah. I'm a new guy here. I believe it's called Chatham-Kent. I have great friends that live in Blenheim, Wallaceburg, Thamesville, Tilbury, all part of our Rotary clubs. And what we've done with our Rotary clubs is we have brought the 7 together, and we call ourselves a CK7. And 3 times a year we meet and we work on projects that would be good for all concerned throughout Chatham-Kent, right? So we need to take the silos down. And I'm not talking about the farmer silos, but it's just like in business. If I'm trying to run a dealership and I have a parts, a service, a new and a used sales department, I have to make sure that they all work together real well so that when they speak to the customer, we're all speaking the same language, and that customer feels like no matter what part of our dealership that they're in, that they're feeling wanted and they're feeling like, wow, these people really care. So I look at our municipality the very same way. I look at it as we need to break down the barriers between all of our small communities that make up the greater Chatham-Kent, right? So we need to make decisions on all fronts, no matter what it is, based on what's good for all of us within Chatham-Kent.
Awesome stuff. Hope that answered your question there. Jamie, hello. Let's see here, Jeanette. I see a lot of constituents responding to candidates but you are just one vote. How will you work with other council members to move Chatham-Kent forward with what you see as good ideas?
Well, I think collaboration. I think that's the key here, and you're absolutely right. There's a lot of, there's 17 as we've already discussed. Yeah. And sometimes we have to make sure that it's a win-win-win. And in my entire career, that's really what I had to do, right? I was always representing a product for a dealer to a customer. And I had to make sure that it worked for all three of us, right? The dealership had to make money, the manufacturer had to be represented properly, and the customer had to leave believing that they would receive the right vehicle at the right price. So I look at the decisions and the work that we'll have to do together in council the very same way. Just on the collaboration part a little bit, if we go back a few years ago in 2015, I was fortunate enough to be the chairperson for the Beach Boys concert that we brought to Chatham-Kent. That was an initiative because our Rotary Club decided we wanted to raise $100,000 for our hospice. We knew it was a great initiative, and we just felt that's what we wanted to do. In order to do that, we also knew we didn't have all the expertise ourselves, so we collaborated with the Knights of Columbus. We brought in the Boy Scouts. We brought in the Erio Yacht Club. So we had these other facets come in and help work with us so that they raised money as well. We were successful thanks to great partners. You want to talk about partners again? We had Tech Savvy, we had RM, we had Victory Lincoln. We had great community partners, we had great corporate sponsors, and we were able to raise $100,000 by working together. Awesome. And that's the key for council as well.
Mark Matthew, Ben, can you start asking the question of bike infrastructure? Lanes for people to use in more secure areas to lock up our bikes. All progressive communities have these plans in place. And Mark, you asked a question, so that's good. So yeah, we don't seem to have a lot of bike lanes here, and I guess we're not as bike friendly as we could be and as other communities are, as Mark has stated here. Well, what do you think we could do there?
Again, that's a long-term answer to a very good question. I'm a modest cyclist. I get out on my road bike once in a while, and I certainly enjoy cycling. But I think the solution, the quick Band-Aid solution where we just say, okay, we're going to make the current roads a little narrower, and we're going to just put a line there, and that's going to be safe for all. I don't believe that's the answer. I think we have to look at long-term. We have to start building our infrastructure around bike lanes. We all know that that's where we have to go. I would hope that that's the way we're going to go. It's all part of the green energy as well. So I'm very much for bike lanes, but I don't know if I would be the first one to vote on, let's just take a current road, make it narrower, and create more danger, I guess, for the cyclist than what we currently have. But certainly very proactive in any of the future vision that we have for our infrastructure, right? We have, let's just use the Bear Line, for example, right? You can go to Mitchell's Bay. It's a nice 25-kilometer ride. The road's too narrow right now. If we were just to say, okay, we're going to make this bike friendly, with people driving at the legal speed, it's not a very safe road to cycle on. So we need to look at the right places to put them, and as we change our roads and we increase our infrastructure, definitely bike lanes should be included in every one of our plans going forward.
Now I'll be running from Mitchell's Bay to Rio, and we'll be running that part. You said you're going to be biking a little bit on there.
I'm going to try and cycle the whole thing with you that day, because the running's not my game no more. Unless it's for council.
Right. So Mark, I'm going to keep asking that question to the other candidates for you, my friend. I do agree with my bike concerns with Mark's comments there. Pat, hi guys, here for just a couple minutes. Don't have any info on Sparky, although his name is familiar. How did you get Sparky?
Well, Sparky's a long story. We got time. Back in the early '80s, Sparky Anderson was the manager of the Detroit Tigers. So that's the short angle. It became a marketing thing for me. I worked in a car dealership, and back then on commission, it wasn't quite as user friendly as it is today. And salesperson often would maybe not tell the truth to the other salesperson all the time.
Right.
So we had three gentlemen. I use that term loosely, and their first names were Don. So one day a customer came in and said, "Is Don here?" And I knew the lady's name and everything, but the other person said, "Oh, I'm Don." And he proceeded to sell her the car. And I thought, you know what? These kids that I was coaching in minor baseball at the time would always call me Sparky, because I have such a love for the Tigers. Sorry, Jays fans. I have a love for baseball, but the Jays weren't around when I started watching them, so
Right.
I'm a Tiger fan. So I would call the players, Trammell, Whitaker, Lance, and they started calling me Sparky. So I decided at that point that I was going to become Don Sparky Leonard, so that the kids that I coached would know who I am, and then I could relay that to my customers as well. So then when they called, I'd say, just ask for Sparky. Now, if I can only add real quickly, it took a while for my mother to understand. I'd go home, she'd go, your name's not Sparky, it's Don. And I said, well, okay. Well, about 10 years before she passed, she said to me one day, she says, you know what, you really are a Sparky. So I guess it fit, it feels good. And a lot of people say, what do you prefer? And it's usually whatever rolls off your tongue easiest, and some people just are comfortable with Sparky,
Right.
and some it's always Don, so that's
Awesome.
how it happened.
Okay, that's a good answer here. Okay, Jamie, Chatham-Kent over the last decade has legitimately chased away big business. How will you change that?
Again, those are big questions that take bigger answers, and I don't ever want to sound like I'm just walking around them. You can't just change what you did in the past. You have to have a clearer vision. We have to do business in a different way. Each one was probably an isolated case, and there's more than just one answer to each one of them. All I can guarantee everybody, if they take the time to share their vote with me, is that I will work diligently with every person in our community to do everything we can to not only keep our existing businesses, but to encourage new businesses. And I'm not talking just maybe the guy that's going to bring in 2,000 jobs. What about the small business guy that's going to come here and work, live, and play? We need to make this community a place, because really Ontario has been built on the backbone of small business. Big numbers are important, but a real strong small business activity in our community will be second to none.
Perfect. Hi, Lori. Chantel, I'm with your lovely wife now. Hi, Sparky. Marjorie Crew. Hello, Ben and Sparky. Let's see here. Toyota building their second plant. Chatham was in the right for it, and the municipal government would not accommodate what any new industry would be shopping around for. How can you... Sorry, I can't see anything else there, Jamie, but how can you make it more attractive, I'm guessing, to put us in a better position?
I think we have to be careful that we don't try and get into a bidding war. We're talking taxpayer dollars here compared to what the provincial and federal government can do to attract these big businesses. What we can do is certainly work with them and show them how Chatham-Kent is not only an easier access for them to get to the new Gordie Howe Bridge when it's done, how much quicker they can get in and out of Canada to do business, and how much more their employees will enjoy living in Chatham-Kent. Show them the value that we have here. Take them for a ride. Let them know that the lakes are close. Because you know what? Big business is no different than small business. If they have engaged employees, if their employees love to work for Toyota, then they're going to love to be in a community like Chatham-Kent. So we have to be careful that we don't think for one moment that we can do it ourselves on the back of the taxpayers, but we can certainly do everything in our power to look at everything as far as what we charge currently and how we can massage some of that. But we don't want to get into a bidding war, I don't think, in something where all we're going to do is bring big business in and the taxpayers pay.
Awesome. Mr. Jeffrey Komisky with the smiley face. Hey guys, be sure to hit the like button, ask questions, engage, say hello, and hit that share button. And if you're watching it on the replay, just remember you can still throw your comments in there, and Don will get some answers for you. Hey Don, hey Ben, small world. My mom Shelly Sharp says she remembers you from back in the day. A nice guy all the way. Good for you. That's from Melissa.
Thank you, Shelly. Yes, matter of fact, Shelly worked as a receptionist back at Countryside Dodge in Essex, to the story that I told you about earlier.
Okay. When
I created Sparky. So she's probably the one that answered the phone when somebody said, "Is Sparky there?" And she went, "Who?" So Shelly, thank you for the vote of confidence.
Jonathan North again. Sorry, I have a question. What would you bring for the youth, since youth are too young to go to the casino? Activities for youth, I'm guessing. I myself am going to enjoy the casino, but I'm older.
Well, you know, there's all kinds of things for youth, and I'm open, again, to all kinds of ideas. I think I've always been a youth ambassador. I spent many days coaching minor ball and minor hockey. I was the president of the junior C hockey team for years. I take great pride in the fact that the Rotary Club put together Rotary Park here for Jenkins Field. I wasn't in town then, but I'll tell you, I've listened to people say what a crown jewel it is right across Ontario. So whether it's a skate park, whether it's a cycling area, whether it's outdoor volleyball, whatever it might be, I'm all ears. And if there's somebody out there that wants to work alongside of us with an initiative to get something done, by gosh, let's get it done.
Awesome. Jeff says hi. Let's see here. Let's go. It has constantly been said that there is a skills gap. What are the specific skills required in Chatham-Kent? So yeah, there is a bunch of employers looking for skilled workers, and we don't really have the amount of skilled workers to fill all those positions. Do you know of any of the specific skills? That's a hard one to answer, but I guess they're in the trades a lot.
Yeah, I think we're not alone there again. I don't want to make it sound like everyone's a cop-out answer, but you know what? We need a lot of plumbers. We need a lot of electricians. For a decade or more, we've been sending students to careers in computers and all the other great initiatives that we have, but we forgot that we still need to hammer the nails. We need to be able to put the plumbing in, and we need people to do the trades, and thanks to the fact that they are kind of starving for people, it's going to increase their wage opportunities. So I go back to the same answer, that the better we make Chatham-Kent look, the better we make it to be enjoyed to live here. So here's my example. I'm an electrician and I graduate, and I know there's not many around. I can go to just about any community and grab a job as an electrician. Mm-hmm. So I like to fish, and I like to swim, and I like to boat, and I like to play hockey, and I like to run. Would we be attractive? I think so. Then when I bring that person to Chatham-Kent and they look around, is it an area where they want to live? And I think if it isn't, we certainly can make it that way.
Awesome. Let's see.
We're in competition every day for these jobs. It's not. We can't just wave a magic wand and say, "Come on in, electricians. We want you." They have choices, and we have to be that choice.
Perfect. Darlene says hi. Chrissy says hi. Or she says oops and then hi. Sparky, with an aging population, we need and this is from Scott Tate. With an aging population, we need transportation improvement for people to get to appointments, etc. Obviously, bus transit doesn't work for Blenheim and other villages. What are your thoughts?
I'm not so sure bus transportation doesn't necessarily work. Maybe the way we're doing it now isn't working for the people. I think trying to set up mass transit in an area that is diverse as ours is a real challenge. I think we have to go and look at other opportunities as well. We have to look at carpooling. We have to look at, I don't want to use the word Uber, but we need to look at car sharing, all kinds of different ways we can help people get to places. I'd seen an interesting story on NBC News the other night that many of the major hospitals in the United States now are using Lyft and Uber.
Yeah.
The hospital is picking up the fee to get the patients in to have their appointments made. So there's, again, ways that we can collaborate to get these people around. Just saying that we're going to have a bus stop at 7:30 every morning, you go from here to there, that might not be the need. That's a simple remedy. The need might be that we only need it on Saturdays when things are really hopping, or on Wednesdays, or whatever the days may be. So when we, again, look at what our needs really are, put our heads together, there's all kinds of different ways that we can create transportation. We're moving into an area of electrification. The way we've seen cars, from the days I worked in the factory to build them to the days that I sold them, it's going to change. And car sharing, we may see systems come to our municipality where you'll pick up your car in Walsburg, leave it in Blenheim. Someone else will take it from Blenheim to Thamesville. So there's all kinds of things that are going to move, and we have to be very open-minded, and we have to be ready to work with any new idea that makes sense.
Awesome. You were ready for that answer, it seems. Jamie Sue Sykes, can I meet you? Now, Jamie is a documentary person with Torch Media. So, Jamie, send me a text and I'll give you his number. And again, he'll put down his information in here after, so you can get a hold of him for campaign or any other information that you need.
And it's also available through the municipality. Yeah. We've given all our information, so if they need to, certainly.
Do you think our mayor makes too many trips to China? Do you want to tackle that one from Randy D. Whale?
There isn't any question in the world I wouldn't tackle. I can't really have an opinion on that, though, because I really don't know how many our mayor has made to China. I know my wife and I went last year to China. We had a great trip. It was not to look for business or anything, but you know what? Our previous councils, our current mayor, I think they've done everything that they felt was the right thing to do at the right time. Maybe that ship has sailed and it's not the time to do that anymore. Would I think of things differently moving forward? Quite possibly. But to say that Mayor Hope has gone on too many, I couldn't say that. I don't even know how many he's gone on, and I don't know exactly what they were going to look for and what the reports were when they came back. I think as a taxpayer, though, be ready that if you see something like that happening, let's not just say Mayor Hope should not be going on that trip. Let's go to the municipal office after and ask for the report on what happened and see if any of it did make sense. And then if it doesn't, then we can go to the council and we can say, Mayor Hope, you've been to China X amount of times and you've come back with very little to offer the community. Put us, your elected officials, on the defense after. Ask us later, but don't just assume, I guess, that it was all for naught. We don't know that. I don't know that, and so I cannot speak for what Mayor Hope's done.
Awesome. Don Fuoco, you have a great first name. But Don, you know he throws Sparky in the middle to differentiate, make him different from the other Dons. Let's see here. Marjorie Crew, hey Sparky, I see tourism as business in CK. How can we make tourism big business in Chatham-Kent?
Well, I think tourism, I see tourism in a number of ways. When I travel, I look at Niagara-on-the-Lake, I look at Stratford, I look at Simcoe. And in Simcoe, they have each year a major cycling event where people on road bikes will come for the weekend. They'll do 65-kilometer cycling, and they'll spend the weekend. So they're bringing money into the local restaurants, they're supporting the local hotels, and they're having a great time doing it. When I talk about Niagara-on-the-Lake and Stratford, I think about they're just as far off the 401 as Chatham-Kent, but yet there's a reason to go there. And so when we can create that reason, and we have a beautiful facility in the Capitol Theatre, and since I've come to town, I've heard all kinds of yes, no, shouldn't be. At the end of the day, we have it, so let's utilize it. Let's get things into our Capitol Theatre that will enhance our downtown. Let's book the retro suites. Let's get the Holiday Inn filled. Let's grow from there. Let's find reasons for them to come. And gosh darn, when these people show up to our community, let's all welcome them. Again, I go back to what I said right at the beginning. We all have to be the good. When we see somebody, well, just, hey, a nice hello. Welcome to Chatham-Kent. How are you today?
Yep. All right. Massive transit isn't viable. Internet transportation is the future, along with video doctors now. Okay, so hey guys, hit the comment button if you have any more questions. Share your ideas, opinions, and hit that share button so people can share this with others and others can view this. A lot of people talk about platforms, and it's hard for any person running for council as one position out of 17 to have a platform. What is the vision? Because I feel that's the most important thing. At the end of 4 years, what is your vision? What do you hope to accomplish with a seat on council?
Well, that's actually a great question. I'd like to accomplish a couple of things. I'd like to see a council that's engaged. I'd like to see a council that each week we don't just defer items. We take action, we work together, we collaborate, and we make some decisions that are going to move us forward. I love Chatham-Kent, but I also believe that we need to do the best we can do when it comes to beautification. It's one thing to invite someone to your house, but if at the front of your house it's full of weeds and the paint's falling off my front door and they're not really going to feel welcomed at my home. So I think of Chatham-Kent the same way. We all need to do whatever we can to polish our shoes, to make us look pretty as we possibly can, and to be warm and welcoming when they come here. So the beautification, I'd love to see that as one of it. I'd like to see a council that works very strongly, and I'd like to not hear any more things like, well, that's not good for Dresden, or that's not good for Thamesville, or that's not good for Blenheim. I think we need to take the fences down. We need to be one, and we need to understand that the decisions we make on a weekly, daily basis have to be good for all concerned in our community.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to be wrapping it up shortly here, so get your last questions in if you have them. Marjorie, what about utilizing the Thames River to attract boaters back? Thoughts on spending money to clean up the mouth of the river?
Sure. I think that's a great idea, and the easy answer is always that these are great ideas. Without just saying I got a blank checkbook to open up, I would be real interested in sitting down with any partners to see how we can do that. I think boating traffic on the Thames would be fantastic. I think even some kayaking, some activities, things that we could make happen. Trust me when I say I'm open to any idea. I won't be the only person ever making a decision whether it's logical or not. It'll be a group of people. And if that group of people believe and they're passionate enough that we should get this going, then I will work right alongside them to do it. So I was a boater. I used to come up the Thames when the speed limit was different. Since they've reduced the speed limit and no wake zone, I know that that's probably impeded some of the visitors. It's a long trek in. So possibly that's part of the issues as well we can look at. I don't know what the answers are. I think I have as many questions as all of our viewers today. Mm-hmm. But collectively, if we keep asking the questions, and collectively if we look for solutions and work together, many of them will get done, right? We won't be sitting here 4 years from now saying, can we still do this? We can say, we looked at it, we worked together, and yes we did, or collectively we came to the decision it just didn't make sense. Right.
And Jonette, I pretty much asked the same question as Marjorie did there. Okay, so we're getting down to it, and I guess what can we do? I announced yesterday that I was running,
yes.
From Mitchell's Bay to Erie, shore to shore, to raise awareness, to get people out using online voting, just to get voting in general engaged, learn more. What do you think we can do to get more people engaged in local politics, engaged more in their community, and in how we can move it forward? What do you think we can do to get these people out voting?
Well, as far as the voting part goes, let me tell you, I think the online portion is something that is going to help us again this year. During the last election, I voted from my desk at the dealership, and I found it so simple to do, and I still would have voted. I haven't missed a vote since I was 18 years old, and I think it's just it's a right given to me, and it's one that I take great pride in, and I've lost many votes over the year, but you know what, at least it gives me the opportunity to feel free to speak about issues after the fact. So voting is something that we all should take great pride in. We all should take the time to invest, but the online is going to help. I think all of the candidates, I think what you're doing now, I think with social media, we should see a big uptake in that part of it. I think your stay in to vote on October 2nd is going to certainly help. It'd be nice if we could actually get some kind of click-throughs. We don't need to know what the ballots were, but it'd be nice if we could get a number that said, hey, wow, we had 10,000 people vote that day,
we're going
right?
to roll out a hashtag that people that were engaged and did something during the time I run can hashtag
that'd be cool.
Something like that. So we can have an idea that there was some sort of traffic that day.
Yeah.
And last question here before I ask you my final one is, would you like the Festival of Nations brought back?
You know, it's funny you say that. I was not here again when they called it Festival of Nations, but we had a similar situation in Windsor. We called it Carousel of Nations. And I don't want to always draw comparison to Windsor, but that's what I know. And I know one thing. I just know it brought the communities together. It brought life into our areas. And they used to also have here in Chatham-Kent the Scottish Games. And I remember my neighbors coming here, and their daughters were dancers, and my good friend was a piper. And I'll tell you, they looked so forward to coming to Chatham-Kent every year to do that. So again, I would be all for if we could pack not only Tecumseh Park, but every park in our area every weekend, full of things to do, whether it's more car shows, whether it's more Festival of Nations. I'd love to see that come back. Again, I never had the opportunity in the past to enjoy it, but yeah, let's do whatever we can to put life into our community and to enjoy it, right? That's what we're here for. We have to go to work to raise money, to raise our family, to put a roof over our heads, and then we choose where we want to do that. So it's got to be somewhere that I like to play. It's a place where I like to be with other people. So those are the types of things that'll do it.
Awesome. Okay, guys, hit the like button, hit the share button. We're wrapping it up now. I'm just going to ask them one last question, and it's the same one I ask: is why should people vote for you? And we are going to have Don back on, hopefully during the middle of campaign, as you learn more of the issues and what people are saying. But right now, what can you tell these people why they should vote for you?
Well, first, Ben, I'd be more than happy to come back on at any time during the campaign, even after the campaign. I think this is a great initiative, and I think it's something that once October 22nd rolls around, we don't just stop. We need to stay connected with our viewers, with the taxpayers. We need to know what's going on. The easiest answer to why you should vote for me is simply that I currently love Chatham-Kent. It's a place that I chose to live. I didn't just come up with this overnight. As I said earlier, my son and daughter-in-law are expecting my first grandchild tomorrow. It was today, but it got pushed off till tomorrow. And you know, I want to make this community the best place that grandbaby of mine can live in. That it's the absolutely safest, funnest type place that they can grow. And I just know that from my business experience, from the challenges and the opportunities that I've had there, and from my community involvement, I know this is a great community. I know there's great people here, and I will not disappoint them if they honor me with their vote between now and October 22nd. I will not disappoint.
Awesome. And I just want to note, Jamie said something really great here. I vote because of all the people who fought for my ability to vote. Their past sacrifices will always encourage me to show up, and I feel the same way, and a lot of people do. And Johnette, thank you. Sherry, thank you. And Don, thank you very much for coming on. If it looks like we're shaking with left hands, it's because the video is backwards. So thank you.
We're not backwards.
We're not backwards.
Just the video.
Just the video. So thank you guys very much for watching. Again, please hit that share button. We appreciate every like, every question, every engagement, and every share to get to know the candidates. And today we got to know you a little bit more. So
well, thank you.
Thank you very much, guys, and I will see you again tomorrow.
And between now and the next time, folks, sorry, if you have questions, obviously you've got me on Facebook, friend me, and either private message me or throw it out there in public, and I'll be glad to answer it to the best of my ability. And certainly there isn't a question, as I said earlier, that you shouldn't be afraid to ask. So, so enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for your time today.
Awesome. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.